Live stream is go. You may begin.
Okay, good evening. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Livingston and our co-sponsor, The Daily Record, I am pleased to welcome you to our Parsippany Troy Hills Board of Education Candidates Forum. My name is Shona Kumar. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Livingston and I attend Livingston High School. Currently, I am a junior with a strong interest in civic action and education. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization, and therefore we never support or oppose political parties or candidates. Elections and votings are our core concerns, and empowering voters, defending democracy is our mission. We are committed to providing fact based information about issues and the positions candidates take on those issues to help voters make their own decisions and participate in the electoral progress. Membership in the League is open to all ages and gender identities. We welcome volunteers, whether or not you are a member. With 100 years of experience, the League is one of America's oldest and most trusted civic nonprofit organizations. I'd like to welcome our co-sponsor for this forum, Bill Westhoven of the Daily Record, to say a few words.
All right. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Good evening to all. The Daily Record, which has covered Morris County for 125 years, is proud to partner with the League of Women Voters to help candidates connect with the voting public to discuss important topics and issues to help residents make informed choices on election day. I do thank all the candidates for agreeing to participate. Please note that the Daily Record will report on this debate, but will not be making any municipal or school board endorsements. Thank you, and good luck to all.
Thank you so much. We encourage everyone to go to vote411.org, a one-stop site for information on all aspects of voting in New Jersey. And please visit our website to learn more about the Livingston League. Remember to make your vote count and vote in one of three ways. One, vote by mail ballot if you've signed up for that. Two, early in-person voting using a voting machine from Saturday, October 25th, 2025, Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. No appointment is necessary, and this can be done from any designated location in your county. The third way is in person on Tuesday, November 4th. This debate is being live streamed on the League of Women Voters of Warren and West Morris County's YouTube channel and will be available there for viewing afterwards. Other language captions will be available tomorrow on the stream. We encourage the sharing of the League's recording of this event in its entirety, but do not allow editing or making public any excerpts from the recording. The League name, logo, event recording, or any materials from the event cannot be used in a way that could lead a viewer or reader to infer League support or opposition of a candidacy. At this time, I would like to introduce our moderator, Mrs. Joan Sturm. Joan is a League-trained moderator who is not from this voting district. She will introduce the candidates and outline the format for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I am not Joan Sturm. I'm Michelle Bobrow because Joan was unable to make it because of a conflict. Therefore, I am your moderator this evening, and I'm looking forward to hearing your views. I am, as I said, Michelle Bobrow. I am from Maplewood, and I am not in the district. I have no relationship to anyone in the district, and therefore I am thoroughly impartial as far as that is concerned. The format for the evening is an introduction by each of the candidates. They have 1 minute to tell us why they are fabulous and we should vote for them. Then I have some prepared questions. Each candidate in random order has 1 minute to respond. And if another candidate wants to rebut after all the candidates have spoken, he or she can raise a hand and have 30 seconds for a rebuttal. And then when we are finished with those prepared questions, we will have a 1 minute closing in reverse of the opening order. Now, Michelle Chappelle was unable to be here. She sent in a statement, which I will read before I introduce the rest of the candidates. Michelle Chappelle said, "My sincere thanks to the League of Women Voters of Livingston for hosting this important candidate forum. These events are essential for helping voters make informed decisions about their Board of Education. Unfortunately, a prior family commitment prevents me from attending this evening. However, I am committed to sharing my perspectives with the community. I will be posting my responses to the topics covered tonight on my Facebook campaign page for your consideration. I am confident tonight will be an excellent forum And I thank the League of Women Voters again for its invaluable service to our community. The candidates, in no specific order, are Lamia El Harari, Jack Rea, Allison Kogan, Deval Shah, and Susie Golderer. We will start with a 1-minute opening. Allison Kogan.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to extend my gratitude to the Livingston League of Women Voters for organizing this important event tonight. My name is Allison Kogan, and it's a privilege to be here as a candidate for re-election to the Parsippany Troy Hills Board of Education. 18 years ago, my husband Justin and I made the choice to raise our 5 children in this wonderful community. While the quality of education wasn't the only reason for our move, it certainly played a significant role. I quickly became involved by volunteering at our local elementary school, participating in the PTA, and attending Board of Education meetings. These experiences opened my eyes to the collaborative efforts that shape our local education policies. My desire to serve on the board stemmed from a genuine belief that I could contribute positively to the education Parsippany students receive, and that belief continues to fuel my interest in serving. Education is a dynamic field with the need consistently to adapt to new challenges and opportunities. It's vital that our board members work collaboratively, focusing on providing the best educational experience for all students, while maintaining transparency, productive relationships, and fiscal responsibility. During my 12 years on the board, I've witnessed many positive transformations for our diverse student body, yet there's much more to accomplish. One of my key priorities, if granted the honor of re-election, will be to enhance the safety and well-being of our students and staff, both physically and emotionally, by fostering a sense of community as our district grows. I believe that students that like to go to school, know their teachers care about them, and have friends in the school will be able to find their strengths and be confident and knowledgeable adults when they graduate. I look forward to our discussion this evening and want to sincerely thank everyone who has taken the time to ask questions and listen to the candidates. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. El Harari.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lamia Hariri, and I want to start by thanking the Women's League for hosting this important forum, and a huge shout out to Shona for doing an amazing introduction. As a proud mother of 3 boys, 1 in junior high, a 7th grader, and a preschooler, I truly understand the joys and challenges of parenting in our school system. Having lived in Parsippany for 19 years and with over 17 years of experience in the healthcare, alongside my master's degree in business administration, I'm passionate about fostering a diverse and inclusive environment. My experience as a community leader, where I have successfully ran numerous youth programs and advocated for our youth, which have prepared me well for this role. Additionally, my background in management, managing budgets and healthcare during challenging times, allows me to make informed decisions regarding resources allocation. Additionally, I bring fresh ideas to ensure that all the students are prioritized and set for success. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Golderer.
Hi, good evening. My name is Susie Golderer, and I am grateful to the League of Women's Voters of Livingston and the Daily Record for sponsoring tonight's event. I'm running for the Board of Education because I believe sincerely that every child has the potential to become the best person they can be, and that education helps achieve dreams. This is where the seed is planted, and this is where we can inspire and deepen their trust by preparing them for a life of possibilities through education. I have been a resident of Parsippany for over 30 years. I am married to Jeff Golderer and have 4 children who have gone through the school district and 8 beautiful grandchildren, of which some are going through the district. I have a BA in psychology with a specialization in industrial organizational psychology from FDU. I have over 36 years of business experience in finance and human resources. I have been on the board for over 13 years, and I have also served my community as District 21 representative, and I have also been participant of the PTAs of all three elementary, middle school, and high school. I'm proud to have been the first board member in Parsippany to become a certified board member in 2019 and certified board leader, in 2019. I am very grateful for the opportunity to run for re-election. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rea.
Thank you. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and to the Daily Record for sponsoring tonight. My name is Jack Rea. I was the CFO and group treasurer at a multinational software company for nearly 25 years. I have a CPA and MBA in finance and international business. I grew up in Parsippany and I attended Littleton, Brooklawn, and Parsippany Hills. In my one term on the board, I've taken on tasks that I've never envisioned. Numerous times I've spoken in public on behalf of the Board of Education and the school district. I've written letters to the editor on various topics to provide context to parents who are busy with their careers and often long commutes. I used to be one of those people. I like my colleagues on the board. We all want the school district to be the best it can be. Sometimes we disagree on how to get there, but often we can combine ideas to get to an excellent outcome. It's often good to ask, what is education? Some of the things that education does is self-improvement, to create knowledgeable citizens and learn skills to be able to get a job. Education is a lifelong process. I've been busy doing some individual self-improvement of my own, learning French, and just recently I started Latin online, as well as continuing my CPA, continuing professional education credits. So thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, you're on mute. You're muted. Nope, not yet. You're still muted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for providing this platform. My name is Dawal Shah. I've been a proud Parsippany resident for over 23 years, moving here right after college. My wonderful daughters, Shreya and Ritika, have gone through Littleton, Brooklawn, and now the Hills. Professionally, I've spent my career leading large teams and turning around struggling departments into successful ones, which included making millions in profits. I've also have a strong background in education technology. For instance, at Huntington Learning Center, I managed software and operations that taught over 30,000 students at a fraction of the cost. I had also worked closely with teachers and administrators, as well as curriculum department, to improve learning outcomes. I'm running because my experience in both fiscal management and education technology is what Parsippany will benefit from. I will be able to bring back substitutes, restore free bus travel for sports, and no longer charge for clubs, and all this without requiring a referendum. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now, are you ready for the first question? What is the district's biggest challenge and how would you prioritize addressing it during your term? Mr. Shaw.
Sure. First of all, the biggest strength, I know the challenge there, but the biggest strength is the teachers, just because, I had an inspirational teacher when I came to United States in my third grade, Mrs. Spaniard. I still remember her from here. And my kids, the same thing, first grade, Mrs. Wade, who's retired now, and Mrs. Marr, who's awesome and also is teaching middle school. Great teachers, great curriculum. So I want to thank you for them. The biggest challenges right now is overcrowding and budgeting. And I have great amount of experience in education technology that can actually help segue a lot of administration manual cost, manual intervention, automate that. That's one. Two, I can go in because I've dealt with education vendors and help negotiate better contracts. I can also help fine tune and help to see where the cost wastage may be. In short, we are a $187 million annual budget. That averages out to set $25,000 per student. And, we did have some budget issues that I'm trying to look in and help Parsippany go out of.
Thank you. Ms. Cogan.
Thank you. I do agree with Mr. Shaw that the biggest challenges are going to be the increasing enrollment and the limit of the fiscal funding. School districts, not just Parsippany, but school districts are limited to increasing their budget by 2% of their tax allotment. And that 2% is not catching up, is not fully covering all the expenses and the inflation. So unfortunately, we do not have, other alternatives. Our revenue is pretty set. So having more kids come in and increasing, enrollment overall without any more money is definitely our biggest challenge. And I'm on the board currently, and the board has been planning for years. We knew this was going to be our biggest challenge. And, we did open up new classrooms. We're always looking at additional ways to save money. I also am a CPA, and I work with a lot of budgets and a lot of small businesses. And we are definitely working with the administration to try to find as many cost-saving measures as we can. And I look forward to continuing to work with the administration and my fellow board members to do as much as we can to ensure that education stays high quality in Parsippany.
Thank you. Ms. El Harari.
Thank you so much. So I do echo both of the candidates, Mrs. Cogan and Mr. Shaw. And I also like to add another biggest challenge is diverse students' needs. When it comes to the financial aspect, I have been reviewing the budget. I do sit on the board meetings. I go attend to see how the budget is going. But I believe if we have clear, accountable budget development, resources allocating, regular auditing, and community engagement, these methods will provide transparency and detailed insight, allowing us to lower costs and avoid any automatic increases based on any prior budget. I do believe the increase of students that will be coming in based on residential development has the biggest challenge as well. So if if I'm elected to be on the board, I do have a lot of new ideas that I can present along with my other board members that we can definitely discuss to make it really better for all of our students and families.
Thank you. Ms. Goldberg.
Thank you. As the three previous speakers have said, in fact, our biggest challenge is the new housing developments that could bring hundreds of new students into the schools. And some of them are, most of our classrooms are already near or over capacity. Our challenge is a new superintendent who will need to understand our district's finances, facilities, and enrollment issues. And there's a long list of moving parts, from budgeting or staffing, long-term planning. It's all happening at once. With my background in management, operations, human resources, and finance, I understand how the district runs and what it takes to keep it strong and stable. This is not a year to take chances. It's not common knowledge, but the Board of Education does vote on the budget, but we have very little to do with how the money is spent or how the money is set apart for the different areas. So we have to be very careful with, we're not always able to do what we think is best, because we can just advise.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I echo the challenges that the biggest challenge is certainly the budget, and there's two tiers. There's the budget, and then there is the additional enrollment from the pilot projects. As mentioned, we have a 2% increase on the tax base per year, but that doesn't cover the increase in cost, whether it's compensation and also healthcare costs have been going up at a far greater rate than 2%. That makes it very difficult to balance our budget. And last year, when we submitted our budget, many of the parents were concerned, but I think the administration did the best job it could with a lot of bad choices to make. But in order for us longer term, there's going to have to be changes in the school funding formula, and that's a state legislature issue. And also there has to be also a reduction in regulations. In order to build a new school, there are a huge amount of regulations. It's prohibitively expensive, even to take an existing building and to revamp it for a school. It's untenable. So we need major reforms in how we go forward.
Thank you. What can the district do to better support students with disabilities and ensure that inclusion is not only policy, but daily practice in the classrooms? Ms. Golderer.
Okay. With respect to that, I believe that we have an excellent director of curriculum who is very engaged in how the process works and basically what the students need. You do have a director that is over special services, and they work very closely together. And what we do is we support their endeavors. We support the actions that they bring forward to us, so that that is the way in which we make sure that they're doing the best that they can possibly do for our students.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw?
I think the school district is doing an excellent job, because I know a couple of teachers that are there. I hear, from a disabilities perspective, from a special needs perspective, how much passion the aides and the helpers have. They're doing their best to make sure everyone's equal. Apart from that, diversity, I think Parsippany is 40 to 50% different cultures. We celebrate through cultural programs, and we share. Our kids are participating. So the exchange of culture and diversity it's a melting pot, almost just like New York. I love Parsippany for that. And that's one of the reasons that many people move here. I think it's doing a well job, and of course there's always room for improvement, but minor ones, nothing that I can see. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rea.
Thank you. The district has placed a high priority on special needs. During the last budget cycle, the staff and assistants that helped the staff were preserved. And I think that would be a very high priority for the school district going forward, that we would want to preserve staffing and provide the best needs possible for special needs students.
Ms. El Harari?
Thank you very much. Of course, I'll echo, the school system is doing a great job, but I have spoken with paraprofessionals and I have spoken with other parents around. There are some improvement that needs to be done when it comes to special needs students. I believe supporting the teachers or the paras to have the resources they need to make sure that every student is catered. So to their own needs, I would encourage more like ongoing training for the paraprofessionals to make them feel that they can handle the different needs that are required by our special needs students. They're very unique in their own world, and we want to make sure they're always comfortable and they feel welcomed and happy in our school system. I will advocate for regular reviews to make sure that all the programs are running as they should. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cogan.
Thank you. It's always hard to go last because everybody else has already said most of the information. But as a parent who had 2 children with IEPs, I will add that Parsippany has quite a few different tiers of support for special education students, and that the district also has a very good parent advocacy program, and that group is doing a good job of educating the parents on what to ask for and how to ask for support for their students. The district has also done a lot more with including special education students in after-school activities and clubs. And I think that does a lot to make sure that those kids know that they are part of the school and included and welcome.
Thank you. Different topic. Funding is a perennial issue. What strategies would you work for to enhance the school budget to support the necessary funding for a quality education? Ms. El Harari.
Thank you very much. So as I have stated previously, when it comes to budgeting, it's very important to have budget management. And I believe in this zero-based budgeting. I believe this approach requires every expense to be justified each period. Also clear, accountable budgeting, resource allocating, community engagement to make sure there's a lot of transparency when it comes to budgeting. Again, I understand we have a cap of the 2%, but with making sure that we're looking at all of these different budgets ahead of time to make sure we don't have any additional costs or increases throughout from the prior years.
Thank you. Ms. Golderer?
Okay, so every year, there's a misperception that we can, as board members, make changes because we can't. We need changes from the state to happen with respect to how to how to bring forth a budget that can help the district better. And our job is to make sure that we ask all the questions, that we don't leave any stone unturned. Unfortunately, we cannot, that is the only thing that we could do with the administrators and the people in charge of putting the budget together, because we're not making that budget, or we don't have a say in how they go about doing that. And it's about the state, and as board members asking a lot of questions.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw. You're muted.
Yes. The matter of fact is we are $187 million of budget that averages to about $25,000 a student. We need to build trust with the Parsippany district, with the Parsippany residents. One way of doing it is creating quarterly reports to build that trust and transparency and show them how it's spent. Second way is, and I'm sure other members will get there, we'll have to work closely with the mayor, current or future office, to see how we can get something from the pilot program. It's a transparent thing. As Jack mentioned earlier, healthcare costs are increasing. The state increased by 32%. For us, it might increase another 10 to 15%, which is around another couple of $100,000. But with that said, it goes back to building trust and transparency in the community by creating very clear dashboards to show everyone where the money is spent. Only then we can say how much we need to sustain the increase in population.
Thank you. Ms. Cogan?
Yes, I mean, I think we, all understand that the spending is what, is going to have to, be under scrutiny. And I think part of the Board of Education's role is to understand what the priorities in the township are, to make sure that we include those priorities as important items on the budget. So making sure that we're listening to the community on what their priorities are. And all districts around the state are having very similar issues. Next week, several of the current Board of Education members, including myself, will go down to a statewide convention, and we are hoping to hear from other districts on what they are doing in order to bring back more information to see if there's anything we can try here in Parsippany.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Thank you. It probably is worth mentioning that one of the reasons there is a budget problem is because of the inflation that has kicked in over the last few years. We've had the 2% cap for 15 years, and it was never really a problem because there was low inflation. But again, what we need is major reform on the school funding formula. The 2% cap is inadequate, and I think maybe there needs to be some additional shared revenue with the town out of their budget. We get about, the school district gets about 63% of the town budget. And we would need to probably come up to some type of agreement where we're sharing an additional amount above the 2%. But again, that requires reform at the state legislature level.
Thank you. We're in the 21st century with AI rearing its head. How should the Board of Education approach the use of artificial intelligence in schools, both in terms of opportunities for learning and the safeguards needed to ensure responsible use? Ms. Golderer.
Okay. Well, the Board of Education has an opportunity every year to attend the New Jersey State Board's forum that they have, the workshop that they have. And what happens during that is there's many workshops, many sessions that are given, and they talk about all the different, all the different topics that affect a school district. And it is so important, which what has been done in the past with Parsippany is that we try and, okay, you go to that, that class, you go to that class and bring back the information so that we can hear, as Mrs. Cogan said, information as to what other school districts are doing and how they're handling the same types of issues that we have, or maybe issues that we haven't even thought about. And it is very important for continued learning and for board members to attend this workshop every year, because that is where we get our education from.
Thank you. Ms. Cogan.
Yes, obviously AI is going into pretty much every aspect. As a business owner, I know I see it pretty much on a daily basis. I know the school district administration is already looking into how it should be used in the classrooms, including how to support the teachers and how to present it, because unless the teachers are comfortable with how to present and how to use it in their classrooms and, how to understand what's coming back from them, that all has to be worked out before it can be fully integrated into the classrooms. And I know the administration has started that. And as Mrs. Golder said, it's up to the Board of Education to support those efforts and make sure that they're doing it safely. There are also classes for the students to understand social media and technology safety. So those will have to be adjusted to deal with AI as well.
Thank you. Ms. El-Arari.
Great. So let's face it, technology is overruling right now, and I believe all of our students, right, they're more tech savvy than we are. So actually, to get them up to speed, right, with AI or using ChatGPT or anything like that, I think it's important to let them know what's really what's really in the outward. But we also have to protect our students by making sure, as Mrs. Colgan said, having ways within the board to make sure, with internet usages. I know if they're taking the Chromebooks, they're able to monitor what's really being their activities. And even as a parent, I do get 3 different activities to make sure what has been accessed through their Chromebooks. But I still do believe that we have to integrate the different ways of technology into our school system to make sure that our students are up to date with technologies and education.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Thank you. As far as AI goes, we want to balance educating our students and making them proficient in AI, but we also want to provide significant safeguards. We are still learning. We have just scratched the surface of artificial intelligence, and we don't know, we don't understand the ramifications of where it's going, especially for young children. So there has to be, I think one of the big challenges which we did mention before, was that we're going to have to incorporate safeguards into our policies and procedures and regulations, as far as so we can protect our students while still educating them on AI.
Thank you. And Mr. Shaw.
Thank you. I'm lucky and fortunate enough that I'm within the tech space and knowing the future forefront of AI, including meeting with OpenAI board members and connections to professors in the industry of what's coming ahead. Particularly, it's age-appropriate AI. If we look at it within the next 3 to 4 years, it's gonna change a lot of our job process, the way we do work and such. So for high school students, I plan to bring in age-appropriate material, so to empower them as soon as possible, because it's going to impact them the very most. Then I'm already working with former colleagues and entrepreneurs that are actually creating age-appropriate AI apps that help the student be emotionally safe, be safe, and that's 13 plus. So I'm fortunate enough to have and bring to the table to Parsippany District all of this inputs from professors and entrepreneurs to make AI safe and build a better future for our students.
Thank you. What is your understanding of curriculum materials developed by PragerU? Would you support their use in the district? And we'll start with Ms. Kogan.
I only tangentially know about curriculum developed by PragerU. The state of New Jersey gives the districts the main topics of curriculum to go by, and then the schools get to pick their specific curriculums to use. We are very fortunate that our staff creates the majority of curriculum in our district. So we do not use outside vendors to prepare our curriculum, and I would not encourage our district to change that practice. As was mentioned by Mr. Shaw, we have fabulous staff, very knowledgeable. They understand our district and our parents and our families, and I believe they should be the ones creating the curriculums in our district.
Ms. El Harari?
When it comes to this topic, I do echo Mrs. Allison. I do believe that our teachers are doing a phenomenal job when it comes to curriculum. As I said, I do have 3 children in the system, and one of them is actually a special need, and he has learned drastically, coming from not knowing a single word to talk except mama and dada, and now he fluently speaks that you wanted to stop him. So, so I actually believe, I strongly believe in our school curriculum, and I will not be using outside curriculums. Thank you.
Ms. Goldver?
Okay. As Mrs. Kogan said, we do develop our own curriculum in-house. I have chaired the teaching and learning committee that we have for many years while I was on the board. And I was very, one of the most important things that as a board member we can do is make sure that they are continuously looking over the curriculum and making changes. And no one better than the director of curriculum and the supervisors and the teachers, okay, are better suited, they're the best suited to write this curriculum, because they know our district, they know our children, they know the needs that, what's going to be needed at the next level, so that we are very, very fortunate to have that done in-house.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw?
As Ms. Golderer stated, leave it to the experts. They're following the minimum curriculum criteria of what the New Jersey state wants us to follow. One, the requirements. Two, they know our students and our community best. Three, as long as it has, and we do a very well job with critical thinking and processes and behind it. There, leave it to the experts. That's my goal. Now, if the community changes and decisions, I think the curriculum adapts well, and the curriculum team adapts well to the community's needs. So leave it to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Thank you. I am a proponent of PragerU. I've listened to a lot of the videos over the years, and this is one aspect that could be at least incorporated into a curriculum. We always talk about diversity, and this would provide an additional diverse source of information. And I think there's a lot of child-friendly videos that would be very informative for young children. And I think there is definitely a place if the school district wanted to go that way. I would certainly support that.
Thank you. What should be the focus of preparing students for advanced and accelerated programs? What should be the focus? How would you go about it? Ms. Golderer?
Okay. The district does have a focus on that, and we do. I mean, can there be changes or can it be made better? Absolutely. But we again have a director of curriculum who is always trying to advance. Superintendents in the past have made sure that we were networking with universities, that we were networking with other schools so that we can provide more opportunities to our students so that they're better prepared for after high school. And I believe that that should just continue and empower them to reach out to more schools and see how we can make it even better than we have now.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw?
Thank you. I'm a proponent of accelerated and advanced curriculum. I've been fortunate, both my daughters, especially older one, has been through it. One of the key success to offering the accelerated programs is ensuring our teachers are empowered to teach them. And it's tough, especially from what I've seen in accelerated math in the elementary school. It can get real tough, and even I as a parent need to do a lot of research to inform and work with Shreya to teach her. So we should offer it 100%. It's already beneficial, but at the same time we should offer our teachers that exact training that they're going to teach. And on top of that, we should also introduce what Governor might be Jack stated, high impact curriculum. I'm a proponent for that. It will help our students be challenged and accelerated and essentially keep learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kogan?
Yes, in addition to what Mr. Shaw and Mrs. Golder said, the supervisors in the district for the secondary schools are always looking for opportunities to provide additional classes and information to the students. The district did just start 2 new pathways in high school for those students who want to specifically study arts and sciences, science and math. So they're definitely always looking for ways to enhance the education. And as Mrs. Golder said, they're partnering, I think, with at least 3 different universities where the students can get credits for those universities while in high school. And to Mr. Shaw's point, the teachers are certified to teach those college classes. So I think continuing to support the administration in those efforts is our best bet.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Thank you. I have gone over some of the syllabus for our English and our history advanced placement programs, and I think that they challenge our young students, our young advanced placement students, and I consider them very robust. And I would certainly look to continue that and add to it as we find new opportunities for additional material. And that material should extend all across the spectrum as far as older materials, new materials, and including some of the contemporaries. Perhaps a review of the recent Nobel Prize winners in literature on the English side. I think all those are helpful and provide all sorts of opportunities for students.
Thank you. Ms. El Harari?
So I highly recommend us accelerator programs. Both of my children's are these programs in middle school and high school, and they challenge them to know they can advance their abilities with strong motivation to learn more. And the different colleges that we are affiliated with, also we take advantage of that because it's at a very low cost since it's like $150 per credit. And if you go to college after you're finishing high school, it's probably, well, when my kids finish, maybe it'll be $700 or $800 per credit, right? So there are a lot of advantages taking these courses in our schools, and I think Parsippany School District is doing a great job. And I look forward to even having more hands-on and real-life experience classes that happen into our school system that really prepares our students to know exactly when they're done from high school what they really want to be, and they don't have to waste more of their time and get to their real life.
Thank you. There is a movement in some districts to ban cell phone use during the school day. Do you support such a ban or any limited use in schools? Ms. Cogan?
Yes, that is definitely a topic of discussion. The studies have shown that children do much better when they are not connected to their phones during the school day. So all of the studies that have looked into this have shown that the students are definitely better off without the phones during the school day. I think it has to be studied and thoughtfully implemented, and not just, one day there's cell phones and one day there are not. But I would support a plan to move towards cell-free school time during the school.
Mr. Rea?
Thank you. I am definitely a supporter of restricting cell phone use during the day. One thing about our country is that we have many laboratories in states and towns, and we have seen the results of limited or restricted cell phone use, and they've been very positive. Students are better emotionally, they're more well adjusted. And I think it's something that we should definitely implement. And as Mrs. Cogan said, certainly with a plan, but we would definitely want to implement that. And I think our children in the district would thank us later on.
Ms. El Harari?
I agree with them as well. I do like to limit, if not allow, cell phone usage and during the school hours. Right now they have cell phone usage, AirPods, the watches. There's too many technologies that our students and our children are really having right now, and I feel like it really distracts them at points, especially like if there's school or classes, they may just pull up their phone, and I feel like they can have more concentration if we have some limitation into the usage of these devices in our school district. However, I do agree with Mr. Ria and Mrs. Colgan that we have to have plans in place to make sure that these changes are planned for our students, so it doesn't become as a sudden impact on them, especially like they're all used to technology at their fingertips.
Ms. Goldver?
Okay, I share everyone's thoughts on this, but at the same time, there have been many studies, and whenever a child focuses more, they do better. And as it isn't implemented district-wide, but we do currently have teachers in the high school that have a basket in their classrooms, and and the students know that they have to leave their cell phone in the basket during that class, and then they could take it back when they leave the class. But it is not a hardcore district-wide discipline yet. Would I support it if the administration would want to do that? Absolutely. Do we need to do more studies? I believe there are enough studies. That wouldn't be the point. I know that it has more to do with the parents being afraid that their children don't have the phone during the day in case they need to get a hold of them, but it's more the parents than the students. So,
Mr. Shaw.
Absolutely. As previous members have stated, like it benefits focus, and focus is huge. Apart from that, the other benefit is if we create a standard operating procedures, it takes the pressure off of the teachers. The teachers unfortunately have to administrate right now. I rather, as a board member, put down a policy, let the kids yell at us, but at the same time, take that pressure off of them. Secondly, there's another way of doing it as well, is creating a material for parents, instructional material on showing how parents can limit their phone time during the school day. There are apps like Apple iPhones. By default, you can have parental controls to limit the usage during the day. You can actually state it, what features can they use during school time. So we can, as a board, publish some articles and how-tos so the parents can also support us while this policy is in review and, eventually created as a standard operating procedure.
Thank you. Is there any action that you can take or that you would support so that Chromebooks are used for their original purpose and not for playing games or doing things that are not educational? Mr. Rea. You're muted. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry. The use of Chromebooks, I think they should be programmed. And I'm not sure if they are now, but they should only be programmed like for schoolwork and not for surfing the net. There's enough time they have their phones and they could do it on their own time, but it should be restricted to curriculum and that's it. And safeguards could be put in place to restrict that. Certainly support that. I believe that we have that in place now.
Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it should be board mandated what sites they can go to. With Chromebook, you can actually control centrally what sites all the students have access to. So it could be centrally controlled. And yeah, it should primarily be for education purposes.
Ms. El Harari?
I do agree when it comes to Chrome use. I believe there are a lot of ways where we can block certain sites from having our children to access. I do know there are certain games that you use in math where they kind of allow the students to go on certain websites like Clever or Prodigy or something to do certain curriculum like math work to make it entertaining for them. However, I think we should be blocking any other site that does not need to be used for our curriculum in school. And I do believe there are certain strategies where they block the time, like after a certain time where the Chromebooks, like the internet cannot be accessed on their website. And maybe they can get alerts on whenever they access a site that they're not allowed to, and then it automatically blocks them. So I'm sure there's a lot of technology now in place where we can make sure we're safeguarding our children and just have it to proper school use.
Thank you. Ms. Kogan?
Yes, I agree with the other members. There definitely are restrictions in place now, but I think it's also kind of a game of whack-a-mole. These students are very intelligent and they know a lot of ways to get around the restrictions that are put in place. So I think it's a continual process for the administration to realize what the kids are getting on and realize what they have to put in to block and restrict. So I would support the administration's efforts to continue that and, you know, maybe have some central place where we've already listed which, you know, websites are blocked in case, you know, parents have suggestions of other websites that should also be disallowed.
Thank you. Ms. Goldberg.
Okay, I also do support that the district continue, because they have a very strict settings on the Chromebooks. That's why we take them back we take them back at the end of the school year and give them back again at the beginning of the school year, so that the IT department can work on them. And they do block many sites, but as Mrs. Kogan said, boy, you create one thing and they find, students find a way to get around that, and it's a constant, trying to keep up to date with all the new, all the new software that we need to have. But absolutely, that is important, to safeguard our children.
Thank you. Extracurricular activities are important in the development of our students. What would you do to make extracurricular activities more available to all? Mr. Shaw.
After fixing the budget, that's the key thing. It's simply, essentially, and I'm lucky my niece also went through it. So have the students recommend these extracurricular activities and have them vote on it and what they want to do. Based on that, we would open up programs to support that, because a mind in use that's keeping busy is critically thinking continuously, socially active. So we want them to be within the school atmosphere, and speaking to their students, speaking to their teachers. So anything, and it should be student recommended, not parents, not teachers, but student recommended on what they want to do, and motivate them to do it accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rea.
It pains me when I see so many of the various sports teams and bands and chorus. They're doing fundraisers, and I try to attend as many as possible. My car is probably right now the cleanest car in Parsippany from all the car washes. But again, it goes back to the flaw in the budget, and students are being deprived of a service that they shouldn't have to be working for. And I hope we could get back to a place where they don't have to do that, and that they can just there's room in the budget for sports programs, because sports and music and the arts, those are the things that make life worth living, and they shouldn't have to work to pay for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Goldberg.
Okay, so unfortunately, 70% of our budget is usually it's spent on salaries and benefits, and it's sliced in many various ways, and there's very little money left over. It is so important for us to, for us to get the money from the township, so that we can not be in a position where we're going to be taking more things away from the school, from the children, because everyone says, oh, we need to do this for the children, yet they're the ones that are being heavily affected by this. And it pained me when I saw an email that came through where we were charging for, extracurricular programs, So there's various aspects to this, because we already have student recommended extracurricular activities, and they have to find a moderator to do it, one of the teachers. But again, it's a big, it is a big problem.
Thank you. Ms. El Harari?
I do understand it's a problem and not just in our district, it's a problem in other districts as well. And other districts have implemented having like small fees for extracurricular activities to sustain budgets and things like that. But I think as our like the current candidates that we're all running, we have to come up with ideas to make sure how we can, we already know where the problems are, how we can resolve them. Maybe it start proposing community partnership that can help with our community, like our children to have extracurricular activity. As I feel have like I echo Mr. Shaw with having surveys. So I would say take some feedbacks and surveys from the students and the parents. Be transparent with the community, involve them in some of these decision makings. I would call them to have like different forums to understand what are the needs and how we can really help their students and help us to be on the board as well, to be more flexible, like with certain activities that gets placed, and also have a lot of awareness programs to make sure how we can really enhance these extracurricular activities for our students.
Thank you. And Ms. Cogan?
Yes, I agree with Ms. El Harari. I think it's obviously the budget is part of the impact, but that is going to be part of the impact going forward. So we have to come up with other ways to enhance those programs, knowing that the funding is limited. And we do have quite a few extracurricular activities available. I think part of the issue is making sure that that information gets out to the parents and the students for what is available and what they could do. And if they do want to start a different club, how that process works so that they can start a new club if they wanted to. I think they have to, like Mrs. Golder said, get a sponsor, and then they can start their own club. And some of the other clubs that, aren't as well attended could probably merge and combine. But I think, the funding is going to be the funding for several years. So we have to figure out a way to make sure the students know they are invited with what is available.
Thank you. The last of the prepared questions is, what qualities and experiences make you the best candidate for this position? Ms. El Harari.
So as I have stated, I have been in the healthcare for over 17 years. I have earned my master's degree in business administration. Sitting in different healthcare positions, supervisor position in big, large hospitals have actually prepared me for a role like this, to know how to deal with budgeting constraints. As a parent as well, we already know how are the struggles for our students and our children, how we can really help them. Again, being a new voice on the board, I do bring a lot of fresh ideas to ensure that all the students are prioritized and set up for success. With being in healthcare, you have that adaptability to adapt to a lot of changes very quickly, and to make sure that I can apply all of these commitments for our student success and to also support our teachers.
Thank you. Mr. Rea.
Over the last 3 years, I've worked hard. As a newcomer, I kind of threw myself into every opportunity to work with help the board achieve its goals. I have a wealth of experience, nearly 40 years in the finance and accounting area, and then experience in other ways too. And I think I've been I think I've made a nice contribution over my 3 years, and I look forward to making an additional contribution over the next 3.
Thank you. Ms. Cogan?
Yeah, thank you for this. I as my prior experience on the board has helped me tremendously, because as Jack said, there's a lot to learn when you become a board member. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different things you have to be aware of. So I definitely would bring that experience back to the board. I do work with a lot of small businesses and budgets and getting along with people and listening and compromising. So that is definitely one of the qualities. And I also ran a childcare and a daycare for many years. So I was a teacher in a classroom. I hired teachers, had to deal with curriculum. I have done all of that in the past. So I look forward to bringing that back to the board.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw?
Sure. First thing is fiscal responsibility. As I mentioned in the past, I have managed very large departments. So, for instance, as CEO of North America for Ipsos, they saw, how well I turned around other departments. They came me and they gave me a mystery shopping department that I had no business knowledge of. That was losing $500,000 a year. Within 3 to 6 months, I picked it up, revised vendors, and I set a goal of 3 years. Within 3 years, it became a profitability of over $2 million with 2.5 times the revenue that we were collecting. So fiscal responsibility, including in my current work, I manage a team of 22, millions of dollars of spend and adjustments and negotiations with other clients, where I even saved the company of $1.7 million a year in the efficiencies that I found. Two, education technology. I have led education technology that 30,000 students that taught a month at a fraction of the cost. So efficiency in curriculum management, working with administrators, have all the tools and experience that I'm willing to get my hands dirty and help out as much as possible, because I love Parsippany and I want to do the best I can for Parsippany and the students in itself and see them grow.
Thank you. Ms. Goldberg?
Okay. Well, in the 13 plus years of my tenure on the board, the first thing I did when I first started was I started taking classes. To me, educating myself and making sure that I didn't just, like everyone else, you have plans that you're going to change, this on the board, and you're going to change the other thing. And then you realize when you come on board that there's very little change. But an example of one of the things that I did was when I was board president, we had the problem of our turf fields. We had a large group of community that didn't want it, and they had a large group of community that did want it. And what I did was I put together a community group, and from that we were able to compromise, and that as long as it was the referendum had failed prior to this, and as long as the one side said as long as we find it in our budget to do it, they were okay and they would not have any complaints. The other side was very happy, and we were able to build the two fields, and we have been successful in that. So bringing people in is very important, especially the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now it's time for your closing statements. We will go in reverse order with Mr. Shaw first.
Thank you. Thank you, board members. Thank you, Lex. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for this platform and this time. We know being a board and board member is not easy. It's a volunteer job, and we're trying to build a community. We understand that. I understand that. My goal is to work as many hours as possible. Unfortunately, my wife knows once a challenge is thrown to me, it's accepted, and I'll do my best to help support our community to grow fiscally, to help create the programs and a safe platform for our students, and at no additional cost, without even thinking about a referendum. My end goal is to make sure I grow a tree, from a plant to a tree, and they're successful in their goals when they bloom into colleges. At the end.
Thank you. Mr. Rea?
Thank you. I am running with Susie Golderer, and we ask for your votes for re-election. And we've worked hard over our years on the board to do the best thing possible on behalf of the students. Sometimes it comes, we make personal sacrifices, and they're well worth it. So I want the school district to be better when I leave it than when I got here. So again, I ask for your votes for Susie Golder and for myself, lines 1 and 6.
Thank you. And Ms. Goldrer.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the people who have worked to make this event possible and the people who may be watching online. My pledge, and I humbly ask you for your support, my pledge to Parsippany has always been the same: to continue to work with the administrators, staff, and the community to always offer our children the best education possible. I will do whatever it takes to bring to light issues that are challenging but important to discuss, to work closely with administrators to bring forth responsible budgets that help our children educationally but are not riddled with excess, to continue to give my most loyal and undistracted attention to our school district and community, to always be impartial and respectful, listen to all sides regardless of my personal views. I'm running with Jack Rea. We are like-minded and we do not think that we know it all. We want to hear from our community for our district. That is, we want to be representatives of all. The only thing constant is change, and we need to be ready with out-of-the-box ideas. We are in challenging economic times. We need to go back to principles that made us such a great place to live. Please remember to vote for Jack Rea and Susie Golderer, 1 and 6 on November 4th.
Thank you. Ms. El Harari.
As a parent and a member of this community, I recognize our responsibility to advocate for a brighter future of our children. Diversity is truly our strength. It fosters creativity and innovation, allowing us to develop solutions that resonate with all of us. Team, educate, empower, and elevate. Number 2, 4, and 5. Together, Mrs. Kogan, Mrs. Chappelle, I know she's not here for other obligation, and myself, Lamia Hariri. Together, we're committed to support the new superintendent to deliver district goals, drive local responsibility, transparency, and accountability, and much, much more. So on November 4th, for my Mrs. Kogan, Mrs. Chappelle, and Lamia Hariri, 2, 4, and 5, we call for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kogan.
Thank you. This evening has offered valuable insights into each candidate's vision for our community. Thank you for being here. As board members, we carry a profound responsibility to advocate for every student across our district. It's crucial that we engage in thoughtful discussions, driving decisions through collective board consensus. It's the diversity of perspectives and the willingness to listen before taking action that fosters effective governance. Our district's strengths lie in its diversity, and we must embrace and celebrate that. As a parent of 5 children who have graduated from Parsippany schools, I recognize that today's students face unprecedented challenges. The mission of public education is to prepare all students for futures that may look vastly different from what we know today. I have collaborated with fellow board members, and if re-elected, I will continue to partner with them, our community, and the administration to ensure that decisions and policies align with the needs of our students, staff, and residents. Please consider voting for Allison Kogan, line 4, in addition to Lamia on line 2 and Michelle on line 5 on your mail-in ballot or on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much to the candidates for sharing your views. They are similar, but they are individual, and I'm sorry, but the voters have a tough decision to make. While the candidates are allied in groups, let me remind the voters that they are voting for individual candidates. So I hate to say it, but if you want to split your vote, you can do it this time. Please vote on or before November 4th. You have 3 ways to do it. Number 1 is vote by mail. You still have time to submit your application for your vote by mail ballot, and those ballots must be returned 1 week before Election Day. Early voting is 10 days before Election Day, at specific places in your county, and you must go to any place in your county to vote, but it will be in person on a traditional voting machine. And then, of course, there's November 4th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you do that, thank your poll workers for the hours that they put in. I think that's it. Please go to the League of Women Voters website for information on how this can be viewed again. And I want to thank also the Daily Record for what they're going to say about this evening and publicize the candidates and what they have done. Please remember that the only important election in which to vote is the current one. Just do it. Thank you so much for attending.